Hey guys, my name is Bren Harris, and I need you to say a prayer. We are going live from StreamYard for the first time today, and I'm asking for grace. Let me start with an A, and we are talking about make a plan and execute. For those who may not know me, my name is Bren at Women with Bren on Instagram and Bren Harris on Facebook and YouTube. And we are going live today across all platforms. And I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. We have literally walked through hell. Now we walk through it like we own the place, and you can too, because your story matters. Now, what do I mean by all of that? You do not need to feel like a warrior nor be a special needs mom to apply these principles to your life. And one of the workarounds that we do to learn new words in our house is American Sign Language. Now, it is not perfect, it is not exact, but we have elevate, lift up, rise higher, boost. We have execute, start and finish. And we have empower. Take a C to your non-dominant bicep and bring it forward. And today I'm here to share with you that we're making a plan and then we're executing it. None of that happens. None of that happens until we do that habit stacking and bring it back to the behind the scenes stuff that none of the social media highlight reels talk about. Now, what do I mean when I talk about execute or elevate? Elevate, lift up, rise higher, boost. I am a firm believer that your 5 closest friends predict your future. If you're hanging out with 5 people who don't do personal development, are not thinking about their future, and not having a 5 to 10 year plan, you're probably going to be the 6th person with zero ambition and zero personal development and zero success. Now, why do I say that? Because I am a firm believer that who we surround ourselves with counts. And that's the energy we bring to the table. Now, there's a lot of things I've learned being a special needs mom. I have a teenage son diagnosed on the autism spectrum. We do not argue for our limitations. We say, yes, that's my diagnosis. That's not something I have. And we have made probably 1,000,001 changes, literally, and spent over 7 figures figuring out how to reverse those effects of autism and ADHD. And I have my own health journey this year. We started out hitting the ground running, and I had a flare up of an autoimmune issue. And I know that I can step back and give myself grace. And I am told to go live on Instagram. Thank you very much. And we are saying that, hang on one moment. And thank you. Okay. And it's fun learning new things. Yeah. Huh. Hey guys, this is telling me I'm live on Instagram. Now, if you are doing this, if you're listening to this somewhere else or listening to the replay or the recording, I want you to do these things with you, even if you're driving in your car. We know that when the body moves, the mind grooves. And they're telling me I'm crushing it. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And please chime in the chat if you can relate that a huge obstacle in your life, shows that you are stronger than you know. Because the obstacle that we think is preventing us from achieving this giant goal in our life is usually the speed bump that's there to teach us to slow down and ask, what is this trying to teach me? And hey guys, let me know on the text if you have a fix for this Instagram glitch. We'll just repost it as a reel. And we are live on YouTube and Facebook. Instagram's being a little cranky like usual. If you don't like the algorithm, wait 5 seconds, it'll change. And we are talking about how we step into the things that matter in our lives. I spent years after my son was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, not taking care of myself, not feeling like I deserved success, not feeling like I need to have a set time and a $1 million morning routine. And boy, it took a toll. I found myself 90 pounds overweight. I found myself facing type 2 diabetes. I found myself doubting my own worth and existence. And as parents, we can't pour from an empty cup. And that's really important. It is not, self-care is not selfish. And I'm not talking about the salon or the spa or whatever. I'm talking about a daily routine that's non-negotiable. When we're saying elevate, we're saying rise up, lift higher, boost. And that means we make time no matter how we feel. And one thing we're learning is that, how we feel and what we accomplish have nothing to do with it, because we fall to the lowest common denominator of our daily habit stacking and system. When we have that system, nothing can knock us off course. Now, we might have a day where we give ourselves grace and then we make up for it later. I am a firm believer that after this latest health issue or challenge, I get to choose to love to make time to take care of me. Just like on Earth Day, we talked about there's no planet B. We need to take care of what we have. The same is true for our body. Hear me, Gen Z, boomers, and millennials. We don't get to get a new body. We take care of the temple and the one that we have. And I can say honestly, I am in the best health of my life because I had that scare. I wish I didn't take that. I wish I could be that mom that, little feather that tickles my ear and I hit the ground running and take care of my health. No, I needed the baseball bat, metaphorically. And that was a real wake-up call, because I am determined to be the best version of me so that I can help my son become the best version of himself. We live in a state where education is like in the last three in the US, and we fight for everything. And that's where the term the warrior mom comes. When I would walk into a school, they're like, oh no, she's here. Because I'm not here to create drama. I'm here to get results. And the point is that you can do this in your own life. We're kind of getting into that season where we have one parent on the other side of the family that is in hospice, and age is ravaging their body. And we are here to say that will not be me. I will be the best version of myself. I am the best version of myself. I'm going to check this. Okay. So we are having some trouble on Instagram. So we'll just post that as a reel later. And one of the things I like to talk about is social media is such a lie. We're posting our highlight reels, guys. Our behind the scenes right now and nasty in the daily grind is real. And we mitigate some of that grief and some of that drama by having a daily system and $1 million morning. Now, let me give you a real life example. I wake up before my alarm since I started walking in my purpose. When I had a corporate job, it was 5 years that felt like 15. It was awful. I had terrible challenges. I had migraines every week. It was not my calling. And that was my body's way of saying, hey, this is not what you're called to do. You're called to change lives, not be cookie cutter corporate. And this is back when they had the putty colored cubicles and you were a number. I did not like being a number at all. And I took a job where I traveled a lot. And this was before a family and kids and all this. And I found that I liked being out and meeting people. I love connection and community. That's just in my DNA. That's who I am. And what I'm learning through my son's journey is that we have a saying, anytime someone in authority tells us he can't, my first response is, who says? What's the workaround? And so for us, they said he would never be able to go to school, never be able to be out of diapers, never be able to have an internship or a job. And we have blown all of that out of the water because he doesn't argue for his limitations, and neither does his warrior mom. Hey guys, thank you so much. If you're on the live, let us know in the comments. If you're on the replay, put an R. We do R, and then we do live, and an R and an L. And thank you so much. If you are listening to this on the replay, it's not an accident. You are here for such a time as this. And I love that we can say no to isolation and yes to connection. We are stronger together. And that's more than just a platitude. I spent the first few years after my son was diagnosed questioning everything, and including my worth and my health. It just plummeted. When I show pictures to people of me when I had put on all the weight and I had not taken care of myself and I had let my circumstances control my life, people are like, "That's not you. That's not you." I go, "No, that's not who I am now, because I am making myself, my health, and my wealth a priority." Now, wealth comes in a lot of different packages. And for me, that the number one thing when I think of wealth isn't money, it's health. Because the body keeps score when we go through trauma. It's storing it and storing it. And we can pretend like it doesn't matter, and we can act like everything is fine. I codependence unite. I'm fine. Everything's fine. How are you doing? Fine. Yeah. We sweep it under the rug, and then our body keeps score. We're talking hip pain, joint pain, asthma. We have migraines, we have ulcers. And I know that you can relate, because anxiety is the highest it has been in our entire civilization. And it's just crazy to think that we're the most advanced, we have the most technology, we are the richest in terms of dollars being made each day, and we are the most anxious. We are the most medicated our society has ever been. Now, when we're elevating, lifting up, rising higher boost, this gets a little uncomfortable because we're going to prune our circle frequently and ruthlessly. This doesn't mean you call up your buds and you say, "I'm no longer hanging out with you." No. Or you text them and go, "You're a loser, stay out of my life." No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about practical steps. Practical steps say, hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm able to say, this is what I'm going to do today. And if you're getting value, please let us know in the comments. And if you're listening to this later, you can just say value. And we, at our house, we call it valutiful. It's valuable and beautiful. And this is the sign, valutiful. And it's so simple, but I find that when the body moves, the mind really grooves. Age has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with the fuel and the intention we are practicing every single day as we habit stack, walk in purpose, and champion our calling. Now, if you can relate to this, please put a relate in the comments. And if you have a question, please let me know in the comments. We'll try to get over to that screen and check those out. Now, we're talking about elevate. And then we're talking about empower. Empower comes with confidence. We're giving ourselves permission and we're stepping into our purpose. We're empowering ourselves. I get a lot of grief because I am not talking to anybody before I have that meditation and quiet time, before I have my workout or my stretches or my water or my mushroom coffee. There's no way that I am going to run on empty. We cannot pour, and we shouldn't try to pour from an empty cup, because that leads to burnout with a capital freaking B. And then we have empower. We're walking into that confidence, and the confidence is unshakable, immovable. I'm looking at my notes, unwavering and steadfast. I am not one that can be up here one day and in the bottom next day. I want to keep that emotional needle or that mental needle between about, 9 and 12. We don't want to be a 20 where we're manic and super motivated and saying we're going to accomplish all these things. And then the next day we're a 2 on a scale of 1 to 20 and we can't even get out of bed. A lot of people don't want to be involved in the process. And the process is where the magic happens. So my challenge to you is, don't believe the social media highlight reels. And just like this Oklahoma wind that's blowing like crazy today, you don't need to announce anything to anyone. This is between you and higher power to become the person you're meant to be. One of our favorite verses in our house is, "I am God's masterpiece," out of Ephesians. And he doesn't make any junk. I don't care what anyone has said to you. You are enough and you are worthy. And I love Scottie Pippen's, I'm a little bit of a basketball fan, quote says, "Most people don't want to be part of the process. They just want to be part of the outcome, but the process is where you figure out who's worth being part of the outcome. I mean, people who wouldn't talk to me a year ago are now saying, "How can I get on your podcast?" And I'm going, let me think about that, because we're ruthlessly pruning and updating and being intentional about our circle. Now, let's go back to those 5 closest friends. This is an age-old saying. I think Jim Rohn is where I first heard it. You know, those 5 people, if I'm around my aging relative who's very grumpy and I'm around my son who doesn't have the best attitude as a teenager, and then I'm around someone else that might be having an unmedicated mental illness, that's not going to fuel my fire. That's not going to be who I'm called to be. I need to balance that. Now, I'm not saying don't hang out with your family. I'm saying balance it. Get on a podcast, get YouTube, Audible, and input that fuel so that you can become the best version of you. We rarely listen to the radio. And when we're in the car, we're listening to self-improvement, personal development, Joyce Meyer, Jim Rohn. I mean, we are listening to people who are fueling us. Oh, yes. Thank you. Put breakthrough in the comments if this is relating to you. We have a very set version of how our day goes. Now, we have decided to do a unique schooling opportunity, which doesn't keep us in traditional 9 to 3 school in the middle of the day. So I am working in pockets of time. And my mission is to help entrepreneur moms with or without special needs children remember that they can go from feeling ignored, burned out, and overwhelmed to reclaiming freedom, clarity, and power. Now, that reads easy, that lives really hard, because this is something we do not do alone. It's impossible alone. We lock arms, we do this together, and we're creating community. And I'm not saying let's stand around a campfire and sing Kumbaya. I'm saying we create community because each of us has different strengths and different soon-to-be strengths. I don't like to say weaknesses. And we know that we can take theory to application, and we can habit stack, and we can make sure that we are doing this together. Why? Because together we are stronger. And we are here to say that success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Now, what I'm learning as I ruthlessly prune my circle, and a lot of people are not happy about that, and that's okay. I am connecting, and I am learning, and I am growing every single day. My mission is to learn at least one new thing before 10 a.m. Like today, I've never used this platform. I'm not a software expert. I am doing this afraid, doing this with courage, doing this with excitement so that I can reach more people, because the people you are called to help need you to be their drink of water in the desert. I know none of us really think we have a story until we stop and think about it. What's one thing that you thought you would never make it through? Yep, that thing you just thought of. One thing you thought you would never make it through, and you did. And now you're stronger because of it. And you're stronger every single day. With my circle and pruning that circle. And oh, thank you. I was wondering about that audio. If you guys can hear me, let me know in the chat. I just want to make sure everything's working because this is all new. What we're learning is that successful people are inspiring people, they're motivating people, and they're pushing each other. They're not gossiping, they're not being negative, they're not being disrespectful, because nobody's got time for that. If you find yourself, I'll talk about myself. When I find myself complaining about someone else, that means I'm avoiding something in my own journey. Let me say that again. Hear me. Hear me. When I'm complaining about someone else, I'm avoiding something in my own journey that I need to do. Get off the dime and just do it. Do it afraid, do it scared, do it excited, and make sure that we are walking in purpose and championing our calling. Quick recap: elevate, lift up, rise higher, boost, empower, C to your non-dominant bicep and bring it forward. And then execute. For us, we're saying start and finish. Start and finish. Our society, our culture is all about let's do the flashy thing, but don't follow through. That is not us. We are warriors. That's how I became known as the warrior mom. Even when things are uncomfortable, and I resisted stepping into that role to be my son's advocate. Step into it. And this is autism world awareness or whatever. I'm like, every day is that way at our house. We do not take it for granted that we have a system that works. And when we're in public, we start signing and people leave us alone. And I love that we can have respect and be the change. I am here to say, hear me, mama, mompreneur. You are not alone, and we are stronger together. Now, we are starting and finishing. We are rising up, lifting up, rise higher, boost. We are empowering confidence. We are empowering confidence, unwavering, steadfast, immovable. All right, so please share this with someone who needs to know these nuggets and know that we will be back next week with our 60th episode. Remember, be authentic, legendary, and unapologetically you. Have a beautiful day.